The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. My name is Dave-Kanyan. Are you ready to reboot Dumbing It Down with Dave? All right, that's fantastic. Let's do the reboot, and let's do the reboot without using racial jokes or using the C word. Yeah, let's stay out of controversy. Let's just be the way we've always been. Hello, everybody. Hello, dum-dums. How you been? It's been a long time. Yes, I know, and I'm very sorry. I apologize. According to my calculations, it has been 206 days since I've done my last podcast. That's a long time. 206 days. The last time I recorded a show or published a show, I usually do them on the same day, is November 13th was episode 85. So if you don't know, go back to the Spreaker app, or you can find us on iTunes and look for episode 85. Jason Smith and from Deplorable Radio and I do a show where we took a little drive in the car in the Fit and we got a little lost. And that's a little bit of a fun show. We had some audio problems in that show. And before that was episode 84, Dave's Fit Life. That was like 2 days before November 11th. So that show is out there on Spreaker and iTunes. And also, there's an episode 86. I have a lost episode. How do you like that? Well, there's a couple of lost episodes, but this is the only one that you can actually hear. Bobby Massey and I did an episode 86, which for all intents and purposes does not exist on Spreaker. For all intents and purposes, it does not exist on Spreaker. I don't know if it exists on iTunes. I haven't looked. But it's on YouTube, and I just posted it the other day. Did I? No, I was going to. No, I did not post it on Facebook. But it's on YouTube if you want to go hear that. That's kind of a fun show, but we deleted it from the Spreaker app for reasons that Bobby was not comfortable with certain things that were said because he's in the middle of a thing with his injury, and I probably should delete it from YouTube, but I haven't. So I'll talk to Bobby about it later and see if he still wants me to delete it. It's a nothing show. It's fun. It's kind of funny. It's fun, but it's typical Dumbing It Down with Dave. Bobby and I sitting in a car in the Starbucks parking lot, which we've done once before on episode 81, which is called Carb Crashing with Bobby Massey. Carb, C-A-R-B. And then episode 86 was Rear-Ending Bobby Massey, which was like a play on joke, a play on words, where Riley, whatever the guy's name is, Bill Riley, does killing so-and-so, killing Abraham Lincoln, killing all this killing that he does in all his books, all his hit books. So I did Rear-Ending Bobby Massey. Anyway, so there you go. I have not done a show in 206 days, and I guess this is going to be the new episode 86. If that's the way it pops up on Spreaker, I think it doesn't matter. I think I'm the one that decides what number it is, and numbers are irrelevant anyway. So episode 86, Lies, Reasons, and Excuses. This is a show I really have been meaning to do for a long time. This wouldn't have been your typical episode 86, but since it took so long for me to do this show, now I have to discuss my lies, reasons, and excuses why it's taken me 206 days since I've done my last podcast. Also, before I get going on that, let me just say, according to my calculations, that I'm probably wrong. It's been 565 days since President Donald Trump has taken office. And I was doing a Trump count-up. You know, some people do a countdown. So I was doing a count-up about my life not being affected by anything that the president does. I feel, for those of you who are new to the show, I always feel every presidency since Nixon, which is the earliest I can go back in my memory, none of the presidents have affected my life. There's been a lot of legislation. There's been a lot of this, a lot of that, the taxes, the war, all this. There's a lot of stuff that the presidents do. My contention is that nothing that's ever happened in the White House since I've been born has affected me. Now listen carefully. First of all, this is dumbing it down with Dave. All right, so just take that with a grain of salt. Take that for what it is. I feel like nothing that's ever happened in the White House since my earliest memories, which would be Nixon, including Watergate and all the things that have happened, have not affected me directly. Maybe indirectly, and maybe it has affected me directly. I'm just too dumb to know. So that's the way I'm living my life. And when Trump took office and everybody lost their minds, and they still have lost their minds, although there seems to be a little bit of a calming down, maybe. I don't really know. I don't really care. But I don't think my life has been affected in the last 565 days one way or the other. Now, that being said, let me tell you that my buddy Mark, who listens to the show, mostly out of guilt, because I guilt him into it. He's one of the friends I've been able to guilt into listening to my show. But anyway, he does it pretty religiously. He says to me that that's not true anymore. My life has been affected by Donald Trump and his policies because my paycheck apparently is a lot bigger. I'm taking home a lot more money than I used to because of whatever it is that he did. Now, I have not verified that. I'm not really good at verifying. I don't have a staff, and that's not a good excuse. See, Lies, Reasons, and Excuses, episode 86. So for the next half hour, you're going to hear lies, reasons, and excuses. And I don't know what's what. I'm just telling you sincerely how I think things are. That's part of the tagline of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Other than pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all, it's also, the other tagline is we don't verify. No, the other tagline is Dave Kanyan telling you how life ought to be. And I'm telling you, the way life is for me, I don't know if he's affected my life. I don't feel like he has. I feel like my longevity at my job affects my life. If I had stayed at a job for more than 5 years, like this job, I just passed the 5-year mark this past May, which is the longest I've been at any job my whole life, which at 55 is not really something you want to brag about. I have flip-flopped jobs a lot. And I kind of feel like I'm at the point now at this job where I'm not really sure how much longer I'm going to stay because of all these rules and regulations that they've put on us. I'm a truck driver. And now there's a camera in the truck. And, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's Big Brother following me everywhere I go. One mistake and I'm out the door. Probably not one mistake, but that's what it feels like. Imagine if you had a camera following you all day at work. Everywhere you went, it follows you. And I'm in the truck almost the entire night. So, you hit a bump, the camera activates, and it catches you doing this, it catches you doing that. And you might be saying, Dave, what is it that you're doing that you don't want to get caught? Well, let's say I don't feel like wearing my seatbelt. Sometimes I don't like wearing my seatbelt. So I wear it most of the night. But if you've ever sat in a tractor trailer, you know that these seatbelts are some of the worst seatbelts ever made. And they choke you. They do. You might not believe me, but they choke you. They scrape your neck, and sometimes, let's say you want to lean forward. The seatbelt doesn't let you lean forward. Let's say I want to get something on my dashboard. Let's say I want to reach over and get a cup of coffee. It doesn't always let you reach over. It strangles you. It holds you back, and I can't breathe. So every so often I let go of the seatbelt. I'll drive for a couple of minutes. I don't like the feeling of that on me as tight as it is. It's not as adjustable as you would think. And in $1 million industry, you would think that the seatbelt would be the least of my problems. But let me tell you something, folks, about tractor trailer, the truck driving industry. Forget about $1 million industries. Forget about who I work for and who I've worked for in the past. Truck drivers' comfort is one of the last things anybody cares about. And there's a lot of things that don't work with these $1 million companies. Windshield wipers don't work. Defrosters don't work. AM/FM radios don't work. The mirrors don't work. Anybody who's a truck driver, well, in my audience, it's only going to be Mark. But if you are a truck driver, I'd appreciate if you could send your comments here on the Spreaker app, or you can go to iTunes and you can comment. I don't know how to look for it, but whatever. Let me know. Send me an email at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com, or you can tweet me at dumbwithdave, D-U-M-B, and let me know if you're a truck driver and you understand, or if you know somebody who's a truck driver. So when you say, Dave, but it's $1 million industry, yes, but somehow. So the company I work for is $1 million business. Obviously, it's $1 billion industry. And the company that makes the tractor trailers, Freightliner or International, the Volvo. There's a whole bunch of companies. Although I've never driven a Volvo, not that I can remember. Mack. There's all these. I don't want to do a trucking show. The point of the show, pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Dave Kanyan telling you how life ought to be. I'm telling you that these things don't work. Windshield wipers often don't work. The windshield wiper fluid distribution often doesn't work. Can they be repaired? Yes, but they don't work very often. The mirrors, you think that the switches that you can adjust the mirrors to your height, to whatever it is that you want to be able to see, they don't always work. The switch on your left-hand side, the driver's left-hand side, to adjust the mirror, it doesn't always work. And oftentimes, after, with New York City, with their horrible, horrible roads, by the way, there's another $1 million industry, New York City and its highway department and its road department, New York State, New York City, and I'm sure it's the same in Baltimore and Washington and Minnesota or wherever you're listening from. The roads are horrible. They're horrible in New York, really bad. They're making progress, but they're horrible. So the mirrors, not only do they not work when you want to adjust them, we're going to get to the lies, reasons, and excuses any minute now. They shake. The mirrors just rattle. They shake. They get loose. Can they be repaired? Sure. The electronic switch to the mirror can be repaired, but that takes a while. The parts are not always in stock. You'd be amazed. The rattling of the mirror, the shaking of the mirror, it's crazy. It's like the mirrors have Parkinson's. The defroster is another thing that doesn't work. Sometimes in the wintertime, all the time in the wintertime, the very, very left side, the driver's side of the windshield, and the very, very extreme right side of the passenger side of the windshield, ice will build up. There's not enough defrost going to those windows, those windshields. How can that be? Why don't they know how to blow defrost hot air onto the corners of the windshield so ice doesn't develop? And then what happens is, in the wintertime, obviously, and then the ice develops, and next thing you know, the wipers are getting destroyed because there's an ice buildup, and now when you use the wiper, when it's snowing or whatever, there's ice built up not only on the sides of the windshield, but also on the wiper. So then I got to pull over, I got to climb up on a slippery truck, and I got to shake the wipers and bang it against the windshield to get the ice off the wiper. And forget about using the windshield wiper fluid that's usually anti-ice, because the holes that the fluid comes out of is frozen because of the ice that accumulated on the windshield because the defrosters don't work. So I'm going down the road. I can't adjust my mirrors. The mirrors are rattling. The defroster isn't working. And there's ice buildup on the windshield, on the extreme left and extreme right, sometimes on top and sometimes on the bottom of the windshield. So there's a little area in the middle that it often works. And by the way, every time you're going down the road in the wintertime and there's bad weather, it's always the driver's side mirror, that windshield wiper. The driver's side windshield wiper that decides to break or not work properly, and not the passenger side. It's an amazing thing that happens every year, and I've been doing this for, 20, 25, 30 years. I don't even know how long I've been doing this. And I'm not the only driver who's ever complained about this. Also, what else is there? Hold on a second. I want to make sure that my phone is charging, because I don't see the thing charging. I don't want this thing to go dead on me. So, yeah, that's not working. All right, whatever. The phone's going to go dead. 20%. All right, we'll see what happens. What else is there that doesn't work? Oh, yeah, the AM, FM radios don't work. Sometimes the FM works, but the AM is very bad. And you need AM in New York City because there's 2 traffic stations. And I very rarely get AM radio. So thank God for the internet. I can use, an app to listen to the traffic, but I'm not supposed to be touching anything because of the camera. I'm not supposed to be touching the phone. I got to stop. I got to pull over. I have to adjust. It's an amazing pain in the ass. All right, so that's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on in the truck. How did I get into that conversation? I don't even remember. But I don't remember. See, first show back, the reboot. And I already forgot what I was talking about. So anyway, so that's I'll listen back and probably won't make a difference. So that's what's going on in the world of trucking. I just really can't remember why I started. That's really funny. I have such a bad memory. And my phone isn't charging, and it's really bothering me. I want the phone to charge so it doesn't go dead when we're doing the show. That's really weird. Okay, so it's good to be back. What is it to talk about? Lies, reasons, and excuses. So why? Oh yeah. So was it Trump that I was talking about? Whatever. Well, it's good to have everybody back. I'm glad you found the show, however you found it. I don't know if I'm going to be back on a regular schedule, but I'll do the best I can. So I've been meaning to do shows, but I haven't. And here's some of the lies. Here's some of the reasons, and here's some of the excuses. All I can tell you is, what I think are the reasons why I haven't done a show in 206 days. By the way, as I'm telling you all this, I want you to know that I'm using that Rhodes microphone that Branford Rogers purchased for me out of the goodness of his heart. And it's attached to my filthy t-shirt that I worked in last night. And it has the Dumbing It Down with Dave P-Blocker sock on top of it. I'll take a picture of it later to show you what it looks like. I'll probably just post it on Facebook. So you can go to the Dumbing It Down with Dave homepage, group page, like page, fan page. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. But whatever the Dumbing It Down with Dave page is, go there. And the website's being worked on. So right now there's no website. But I'll post these pictures. So the Rhodes mic already has one of those little foamy things. And I was testing it, and I didn't like the way it sounds. I still don't like the way it sounds. And then I put the sock on top of the foamy thing, which is on top of the microphone, which is attached to my dirty, filthy t-shirt. And, by the way, it is down by my belly button. It looks like I'm overmodulated. I don't like it. It's a really hot mic. It's a very, very hot mic. And there's no mixer. There's no preamp. I have no technology. I have an iPhone. And the Rhodes microphone is supposed to be built for the microphone. And I bought that thing, which I don't remember what the name of it anymore. I bought that thing before Branford Rogers from what's his name of his show? The Multimedia Ninja. He has an amazing show. He has an amazing YouTube podcast. You should check him out. The Multimedia Ninja, Branford Rogers, who I met at Podcast Movement 17. So this mic is really hot, and I talk loud. I guess I don't have to yell. I'll try not to yell. Okay, I'm going to calm down. So anyway, I'm doing about 60 miles an hour. Let me hit the cruise control. I'm southbound the New York State Thruway. It's gray skies. It is, what's today? Today is Thursday. It is June 7th. Yesterday was June 6th. That was my son's birthday. He's 21. He's 3 years out of high school and still living in his room. I'd like him to go. I'm just saying that out loud. I'd like him to leave. I'd like to have an office. I'd like to have a rehearsal studio, recording studio for I like to have, I need a space. I don't have a big house. It looks like I'm going to end up buying a shed. Or I just move into this fit, which is something that I might be doing anyway, which we'll talk about another time. I might have talked about it during Dave's Fit Life, episode 84. All right, so why didn't I do? I'm going to need some water. Why didn't I do a podcast for 206 days? Well, part of the lies, reasons, and excuses, and you decide which is which, I don't know. To me, they're all the truth, is that I changed my schedule. I was no longer coming home on Sundays. And, I might have drinking all the water. Do I have no water? Oh, I have one more water bottle left. So, I drank like 200 ounces of water last night. I drank a lot of water last night. I've been trying to lose weight again. I'm sort of back on the health fitness thing. I've been juicing, too. Not blending. I've been juicing. I can't blend. Blend is disgusting. Juicing is pretty tasty. But it still takes a lot of work to juice. And I'll tell you the formula for my juice another time. So I changed my schedule. I no longer was going home on Sunday mornings. When I used to go home on Sunday mornings, there would be nobody to talk to because Mark was off Saturdays and Sundays, so he would be going to church Sunday morning. He wouldn't be at work. I wouldn't talk to him. My buddy Steve, he's off on Sundays. I wouldn't talk to him. So there was nobody to talk to, and that's the original reason why I started a podcast, because I just wanted somebody to talk to. So I decided to talk to my phone, because if I have a phone in my hand and I'm doing a podcast, that's okay. If you're going down the road and you're talking to yourself, you're a crazy person. But once you put the phone to your mouth, everything seems to make sense. And if you're doing a podcast, now you're an artist. Now you're a creator. Now you're a performer. So it just made sense once I heard the Spreaker commercials, and they convinced me that this was a very affordable and convenient idea. That's when I started doing a podcast. So anyway, I changed my schedule, and now my last day was Saturday mornings going home. And Mark is working Saturday mornings. So let me tell you something. I need to tell you something. Let me tell you something. Don't stop me from telling you something. I need to tell you something. Why do I say that? Let me tell you something. I'm already in the process. The whole show is about me telling you something. That I put bros before shows. I just took a water break. I put bros before shows. So every Saturday, Mark and I would be on the phone. And I wouldn't do a podcast. I didn't need to. I don't need to do a podcast anyway. I don't need it. It's not something I need to do. It's not a number one priority. But being friends with Mark, as much as he's a pain in my butt, just kidding. Even though he angers me, just kidding. Even though he frustrates me. I'm not kidding about that. Sometimes he's very frustrating. But we frustrate each other because we're so much alike and yet sometimes so different. We're friends. Some friends never have any tension. Some people have tension. So I think we make each other tense. I think that we both don't intend to make each other tense, but sometimes we do. That, whatever. But we're friends. We'll be friends for a long time. Maybe forever. I'm not really sure. He believes in an afterlife. I'm not really that clear on that. So I don't know if we'll be friends forever. Maybe in his forever we'll be friends. In my forever, it's over when it's over. If we make it that long. I don't really have a lot of long-lasting friendships anymore. I have a couple. But the people I'm friends with for a long time, I never see them. I've known Steve since high school. I never see him. I've seen him a couple of times. We went to a couple of concerts. But I'm not doing that anymore. I can't travel to New York City anymore. I'm exhausted. I can't do it. Not for concerts and not to see friends. I can't do it. It's a lot. It's either taking a bus or a car, and it's over a 2-hour drive. And I'm really not up for that. I got so many irons in the fire. I don't have time and energy to be driving down to New York City. So I have two Steves who I'm friends with that I've been friends with since high school. And there's other people too, but I don't see anybody. That's the secret to our success. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So I put bros before shows. And Steve sometimes does overtime on Saturdays and or Sundays. So I would talk to him. So I just don't do a show. And then I say to myself, all right, I'll do a show on the way into work. But sometimes I'm on the phone with a friend, with a bro, on the way into work. Sometimes I'm not. So that's one of the lies, reasons, and excuses. Another one of the lies, reasons, and excuses, you pick what category you think it falls into, is that this microphone here that Bradford Rogers from the Multimedia Ninja purchased for me, we were hoping that would be the solution. It's a lavalier mic. You clip on, it's a lavalier. Do you know what a lavalier is? You clip, I don't even know. This has a clip. You're supposed to put it on your collar, your lapel, whatever. But it's so hot that I had to put it down by my belly button. It's sitting down and I'm looking at it. And I had to put a sock on top of it because I just think it's too hot. I don't know how to make it not hot. I think that bummed me out. And I did that show with Jason Smith where we drove around, and there was a part of the show you can't even understand because the phone is, I don't know what's going on. There's a whole disturbance going on in the show, and I don't have editing equipment. I still, to this very day, don't know how to use Audacity. I can't get to it. The learning of the Audacity, the learning of the sound editing, I can't get to it. I don't know how to do that. So I don't know how to hook up a preamp, but I shouldn't have to. I really should just be holding the phone in my hand. But I didn't want to do that anymore. Here's another one of those lies, reasons, and excuses. So I put bros before shows. The microphone that Bradford got for me wasn't any better than the phone I had, the microphone that I had previously purchased, which I think is the same exact type of microphone. It's a lavalier. It has the clip, and that one came with the first one I bought. Rob Greenlee from Spreaker Live talked about it at a show, and I bought it. It was like $35. I was hoping that would be the solution. And then Bradford got me this mic, and I thought that would be the solution. Apparently Rhodes makes excellent microphones. But for whatever reason, not so much with my iPhone. And I know it's made for that, so it doesn't matter. So all I had to do was, get another mic or go back to holding the phone. But I didn't want to do that. And I wanted to find a solution. So here it is, 206 days later, I have no solution for you. I have no solution for me. I haven't really done the homework in replacing this mic with another mic that sounds good. It's okay down by my belly button. I just don't think I like the way it sounds. So you tell me what you think it sounds like. I don't know. I keep on yelling. I keep on elevating my voice. I don't think I have to. This microphone is so hot. I think I could just talk like this. So I'm recording, and I'm 28 minutes in or 26, I can't even see. So that's good. Maybe we'll do a 30. Who cares? I don't care about the times. I want to do a half-hour show. If I do a 44-minute show, who cares? 45 minutes, they're going to cut us off. They're going to cut me off. You're going to stay where you are. I get cut off. So that's another reason. I talked about it in a previous show. We'll take a breather here in a second. Let's do that now. Damn it. Okay. Oh, God. Hold on. Let me take a sip. You can feel free to have a drink yourself. Let's try to do some breathing. I need to do some breathing because I'm talking too much. 26 minutes of talking. Holy cow. Now, oh my God. I already see problems. Oh. I got to be honest with you. Well, before, all the shows I did a breather, you can hear in the last couple of shows, I was really having a hard time breathing. I should have brought those recordings to my doctor. Or I could have just went to the doctor. I don't think he needs to hear my podcast. I think he has this thing called a stethoscope. Is that what it's called? I think he can hear me breathing just fine. Medically, I think he knows how to see how I'm breathing. But I knew that I was having a problem taking these breather breaks. And then recently, I've been juicing a lot. I've been supplementing my meals with juice, or replacing my meals with juice. I've lost some weight. And my breathing has been fantastic. There's a lot of times I'm in the truck, I'll just start breathing. I'll take some really deep breaths. And I do that thing where it hurts, and it's great. I've been happy. And just now I said to you, let's take a breather. And I just did a little test. I feel congested. I had chicken, but that was like at midnight last night or 1 o'clock in the morning I had chicken. So I shouldn't be all congested. I have had no dairy. I have had whatever. I haven't had any dairy. Oh my God. All right, let's try it anyway. This could be the end. This could be the moment. All right, so we're going to take 3 deep breaths. This will be in lieu of a commercial break. We'll take 3 deep breaths, each one being deeper than the one before, and the last one being the deepest. And you want to hold it, and you want it to hurt a little bit. I don't know why. I found out why. I did do a little verifying, and then I forgot what I read. So it doesn't really matter. But you do want to take a deep breath, all right? Oh, God. This is going to be horrible. All right, ready? 3 deep breaths. Ready? Go. How was that? In through the nose, out through the mouth. All right? That was 1. 2 more. Oh, God. It just seems uncomfortable to me. Maybe I'm just making that up. Maybe I'm making myself uncomfortable. All right, breath number 2. Ready? Inhale. Deep. Let it out. All right, not as bad as I thought. I am a little congested, but I have been breathing better. How are you doing? You're doing okay? You a little dizzy? If you're a little dizzy, you just hold on to the steering wheel like I am. All right, last one. Let's make it a good one. This is for all the marbles. A game that nobody plays anymore. I never knew how to play marbles. Here we go. Ready? Have you? Did you know how to play marbles? I don't even know. I would love to learn. Wouldn't that be great? There should be a meetup group that I'm not going to start called Let's Play Marbles. All right. Wait a minute. That sounds horrible now that I thought about it. Ready? Here we go. Last one. Oh. Okay. Not as bad as I thought. How was it for you? That was a breather break brought to you by Air. Anywhere you are in the world, if there's air and it's clean, you should breathe it. It's free. It's all for you. All right, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you for indulging me in that breather break. All right, so bros before shows, microphone that didn't solve the problem. What else? What other reason? Here's another reason. I decided at some point, I forgot when, episode 50, episode 60, episode 70, I don't remember when I decided. I'm yelling again. That I was going to do a show starting at episode 100. I had an idea, and I was getting really close. At episode 85 and then episode 86, the lost episode, which you can find on YouTube, on Dumbing It Down with Dave or dave-kanyan. I don't think Dumbing It Down with Dave has a channel. I think Dave-Kanyan has a channel. It doesn't matter. I wanted to do a special series starting at episode 100, and I said I'm gonna start planning this series. I don't want to tell you what it is. I'm gonna keep that to myself. It doesn't matter what the series is. It'll be part of Dumbing It Down with Dave. It'll be a special 2-part, 3-part, 4-part series. And I swore to myself I was gonna sit down. I was gonna write. I was gonna do research, and I was gonna do like a PBS type of thing, a WNYC public radio type of podcast. Those guys do fantastic podcasts. I love them all. Freakonomics and Radio Lab, The Sporkful, and Note to Self, and More Perfect, and I don't know, all those shows. A lot of them are very informative. They're done very well. And I've come to the realization that this show is only going to be so popular because I don't plan anything. I just talk, and people don't want that. So. And I did talk about focusing in on pragmatism, which I haven't done. So, that's not a good thing. But I had a special thing I wanted to do at episode 100. I was getting closer to it, and the microphone not working as well as I hoped it would, and Mark and I talking on Saturdays, seemed like a good reason to not do podcasts, because that would keep me from getting to 100. Because I would have been there already. I would have done 14 episodes in the last 203 days, and then I would have been really bummed out that at episode 100 I didn't do what I wanted to do. Now, there's no significance to the episode 100. It just seemed like a good time to do a reboot, which, by the way, this is Dumbing It Down with Dave. After 203 days, I think it's fair to call this a reboot. What's different? Nothing. I'm not in the Kia. I'm in the Honda Fit. Are we going to do a mileage report? Nah. I'm not going to do a mileage report. But if you want, you can listen to my buddies over there at Comedy Pipe. I told them to stop doing my plugs. We haven't really been giving each other... I give them great plugs. They've been giving me horrible plugs. They got a guy that, I don't know, I guess he doesn't know how to read, or he doesn't care. And I haven't been getting a bump. We don't really have two popular podcasts. So there's been no bump in audience participation. So I was afraid to get to 100 and to be disappointed by the fact that I wasn't prepared, because I think I have a great idea. And like I think about all my ideas are great ideas. Not $1 million idea. There's $1 million ideas that I think I have. One of them I am working on, by the way. And the other one is just a good idea. A creatively good idea. So that was another reason. And then believe it or not, also, part of the lies, reasons, and excuses, I really got incredibly tired, and I've talked about that ad nauseum. So if you're tired of hearing about that, I'm sorry, but I did get really tired, and my head really did hurt for a long time. And it would hurt the more I would try to think. It would hurt. Talking to Mark, I don't always have to think. He's talking, I'm talking, so I'm listening and I'm talking. So it's not that hard to talk to somebody. But when I'm by myself and I would try to think of things, my brain would start to hurt, and that happens every night. But it was very prevalent that I would be in pain. I don't think it's a tumor. I don't think it's anything serious. I think it's sleep deprivation. It's that whole sleep deprivation, brain degradation thing. But I think it got really bad. And it wasn't the CPAP, because the CPAP's working. And I went to see two sleep CPAP doctors, 2 sleep disorder doctors, pulmonologists, they call them, in the last couple of months. And they both said that my machine's working fine, and the problem is me. So I probably need to lose weight. All right, 35 minutes. So I haven't. So the point of me telling you that is not only have I not been doing podcasts, up until about a week or 2 ago, I wasn't even listening to podcasts. I couldn't digest information. You have an idea what that means? I don't know. I just couldn't. I couldn't hear anything. I just couldn't do it. All those shows, I haven't listened to Spreaker Live since November, maybe October. I haven't listened to anything. Here's another lie, reason, and excuse. You pick what category it goes into. Now, after Podcast Movement 17 in Anaheim, I was pumped. I did not have the greatest convention, the greatest podcast movement, because my Android phone, if you remember, was horrible. It wasn't working right. I couldn't use it for social media. I couldn't access my apps. The phone was just horrible. And then Bobby sold me his iPhone, but that was after. So now I'm using iPhone, and I love the iPhone. I'm not taking as good care of it as I should be, but I cracked the screen once already, and I spent money I shouldn't have spent. But I really do enjoy the iPhone, and I can't wait to get the 7 or the 8 or whatever. But the 6S is working fantastic. Thank you, Bobby, for selling me the iPhone. Sold it to me for a very good price. Very good friend sold it to me for a very good, cheap price. And it works great. It does everything I wanted to do. I love the iPhone. I can't imagine ever going back to a non-iPhone phone. But the problem was with Podcast Movement. It's hard for me to say this because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I don't think he listens to the show anyway. After the show, I went to spend a couple of days with my buddy Lee in San Diego. And I guess he really wanted me to be entertained. I guess he really wanted me to participate. I don't know what he wanted from me. But he asked me, what do you want to do when you come visit me? And I said, I want to do nothing. I'm on vacation. I want to do nothing. I didn't realize that I needed to decompress from Podcast Movement. I didn't realize that was going to be something I needed to do. But I told him months before, when I knew I was coming, that I wanted to do nothing. So we didn't end up doing nothing. We ended up doing something. And I didn't need to do anything. Now, there's a double meaning to that. I didn't need to do anything because I wanted to do nothing. And there was nothing that I really needed to do, but I did it with him, whatever he wanted to do. And he's an improviser, the comedy improvisation. So Friday night and Saturday night, I went to see him do improv. And I really just wanted to sit in the backyard. And he has a pool, but he doesn't use it. I just wanted to really do nothing. And then, on top of that, I really wanted to go through my bag. This incredible bag of stuff. You ever been to a convention? Did you ever pick up stuff? So I picked up at least one full bag of stuff. I had the world at my fingertips in this bag, I'll say. I had all the social media contacts in the world. I had so much stuff in that bag that I really think could have helped me and my show, Dumbing It Down with Dave, the podcast. I think I had all my equipment answers in that bag. I think I really had a good mailing list to develop. I had a lot of stuff to do. And I didn't do it. That was the Friday and Saturday and Sunday were the days to do it. By the time I got home Monday morning, it was a really rough flight back on United Airlines. That's a whole nother story, which I may or may not have already discussed on a prior podcast. But when I came home, I never got to that bag. It's been almost a year, folks, because Podcast Movement 18 is coming up in Philadelphia in a couple of months. I still haven't unpacked that bag. I still haven't utilized the bag and the contents of the bag to its fullest potential, so I can expand my base, my listener base, my everything base. I didn't do it. Bag is just sitting there to this very day. I have people I wanted to say hello to. I wanted to thank them. I wanted to learn from them. I wanted to get some equipment on my own. I think some guy from Tascam. You heard of Zoom, right? Zoom, Zoom. Well, this guy is the opposite. He's Tascam. And he talked to me for, I don't remember his name. I have his business card. We talked for 45 minutes. He took the time. He walked away from his booth. He sat down. He talked to me for 45 minutes. I can't tell you how much that meant to me. That was really nice of him. I got to get his name. And when I do find his card, I will bring it to the show. And I'm going to look for him in PM18, Podcast Movement 18, which we'll just call PM18. But I wanted to buy something from him. And then eventually I had the money to buy something from him, later on, the months after. I never went back to the bag. So I'm really bummed out about that. And, it's like an albatross. You know what that means when you have an albatross around your neck? So I never did anything. I haven't done anything. I have people that I met. I have made great relationships. I made fantastic relationships. I could have been a guest on I don't know how many 10, 15, 20 different podcasts. I could have had people on my show if I got the equipment. I could have done so much. But the 2 or 3 days after, when I was in San Diego visiting my buddy Lee, that's when I had the momentum. I needed to decompress a little bit, which would have been just sitting at the beach and having, either something to drink or nothing to drink. I just needed to breathe air. I didn't realize how taxing that convention was, Podcast Movement 17. Plus, I had that one bad seminar that I went to with that snake oil salesman, and that's one of the other things I never did. I never contacted him to tell him how dissatisfied I was with his seminar, and I'm a little I'm upset about that I didn't have the balls to do it. That he doesn't know how I feel about what I sat through for 6 hours, and I just wanted to be a big man and say, hey man, I didn't enjoy your seminar, and here's the reasons why. So I didn't do that. Instead, I did a show about it with Alex Exum and kind of badmouthed him behind his back, and I don't think that was the right idea. I think I should have spoken to him first. And I'm disappointed in myself. That's a very cowardly thing that I did, was not to talk to this guy, Josh, about his seminar. Anyway, it's not too late, but we're getting really close to PM18. I see him gearing up for it, and I don't know if I want to interrupt his momentum, because I know he's going to do another seminar. So that bugged me. The whole weekend of not decompressing, and then coming home and not unpacking, and then going back to work, and nothing changed at work except we got busier, and I got more tired. And then I went back to doing overtime, and it's been a hell of a ride. So there might be other things. I didn't have really any personal problems. I do, but I don't think it was anything that really got in the way of my show. My parents are my parents. My sister's my sister. Everything is the way it was. There's nothing really different to report. But I didn't do a show for 206 days. And, time is running out. What does it say? I'm getting a warning. Time is almost up. Oh, okay, 43 minutes. I got 2 minutes to go. All right, no reason to do a show to 45 minutes. That's it, guys. You pick it. You decide what's a lie, what's a reason, what's an excuse. I don't know. Also, what's the truth? Is any of that the truth? I have no idea. I'm just telling you these are the events that took place in my life. It wasn't laziness, and it wasn't like I had nothing to say. I also think I had too much to say, and I kind of stacked. I've talked about that before, where I stacked things on top of other things, whether it was a Trump thing, and now it's a Roseanne thing, or a Samantha Bee thing, or it's a job thing, or it's a family thing. Eventually, it's like time just went on, life was happening, and these are all the shows I should have talked about, things I should have talked about during a show, and I didn't, and then this morning I didn't have a bro to talk to, and I just decided it was time. And I have been listening to podcasts for the last 2 weeks. In fact, last night I went on a 13-episode Pat Flynn Smart Passive Income binge. I'm going crazy with the Smart Passive Income. All right, so anyway, before it hangs up on me, let me just say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. It'd be great to hear from you. At Done With Dave on the Twitter, at Done With Dave, dumbing it down with Dave at yahoo.com on the email, or just comment here on the Spreaker site if you're listening on Spreaker or iTunes, and of course go to iTunes. Give me a 5-star rating because it's really important. That's why I'm supposed to say that to you. And that's it. All right, 38 seconds before they cut me off. Thank you guys. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, Godspeed, good riddance, Godspeed, and good rats, and good luck. Right? I think that's it. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh yeah, one more thing. Thanks for being patient. Thank you. I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you commenting. I really do. I do this podcast for social reasons. I think so. Bye.